Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours. Once again, welcome to Unmask Orlando, the vampire venue. Tonight's session, we'll be finding ourselves once again at the Hunt residence, that lovely manor a bit out in the boonies, surrounded by all the lovely countryside. We will be finding our dear gangrels. Seven, Sir Hunt, and, as has come down through the grapevine, a new gangrel in town, who said he would like to get some contacts and probably present himself and maybe be on his way. Sirius took the liberty of inviting this new gangrel to his haven, and that is where we shall start our scene.
Seven is sitting comfortably in one of the couches in Sirius's living room. Um, I'm sure by now Sirius has offered him a chalice of blood, so he's quite comfortable. He's kind of relaxed and in conversation with his brother Sirius, and he says, "So, brother, you said we've got a new guy coming to town."
Yes, I got the information down the grapevine that he would like to present himself and everything, so I took the liberty of inviting him over. Uh, Getting a bit of a feel, see what we're dealing with, and if all is kosher, as they like to say, to then direct him to the Primogen and Prince.
Oh yeah. Do we know his line, like where he came from?
So far, I only know that he is known as Bryce Roth, or Roth, depending on how the name is pronounced. Otherwise, I haven't really been able to get much information on him. That's why I thought it might be smarter to, how should I say, let me have a look over the fellow before unleashing him on the city. Yes. I know. I'm not a primogen. It's technically not my place to do such things, but ah, well, I think you have probably caught up on the fact that I've got a bit of a protective side to myself, and I would like to think that that extends to the city as well.
No, yeah, I picked that up, and honestly, I think you're doing her a service. I mean, let's work for her. If you can vet him tonight, and give that information to her, it's gonna put her mind at ease as well. So I
Yeah,
think you're doing all right. I think you're doing the right thing for this new guy and for the clan in general. So yeah.
yeah. Hmm. And Sirius looks at a pocket watch that he produced and sort of goes, he's definitely taking his time. Ah, well, the night is still young. And he puts it back. So, I hope the blood is to your liking.
Oh yes, it's quite nice actually. And he takes a sip and kind of rolls it around his palate a little bit before he swallows. Oh yeah,
Jump
no, it's
cut. We go ahead and bring the scene outside the estate where a mysterious looking RV, and by mysterious, I mean pretty derpy looking RV, is starting to roll up into the driveway of this particular estate outside the gates. Of course. We're in the boonies, we're in the bayou, but a little bit of courtesy here and there won't do us no trouble. As the individual that's referenced earlier in the scene goes ahead and pops out of this vehicle. He goes ahead and walks up to the gate, goes ahead and like lays into the intercom button. He goes ahead and scratches out saying, hey, I'm supposed to be here. Hey, I got an appointment. Hey.
Beep. Uh, Hunt residents, who may I welcome?
Yo, I got an appointment with a Mr. Hunt. Name of Roth.
Ah, excellent. You are expected. You hear from a gruff male voice, and you're beeped through as the gates automatically open.
Cool. Jumping back into the vehicle, this ostentatious, or at least this big ass fucking RV, sort of squeezes itself through the gate and makes it up to the front door much more proper like. After a bit of heaving and hoving and some laborious engine trouble, eventually the vehicle makes its way. And eventually, good old Mr. Roth is hopped out of his vehicle. Going to go ahead and walk up to the front entrance as just as casual as you like.
Fair enough. As he was walking up, he'll see a almost 6 foot tall, long haired, blonde fellow with a bit of a beard, wearing casual clothes, so t shirt, jeans, um, normal boots, and just saying, "Welcome, brother. I'm Sir, I'm Sir Sirius Hunt. Welcome to my haven, and I hope you'll enjoy my hospitality." As he offers you a hand to shake.
Right. He takes one hand out of his jean pocket and extends it to you. Because go ahead and like give you a good once shake. Cold skin on cold skin. We're both kindred. This is fucking fairly obvious.
Yeah, nah, he gives you a good firm handshake. Strength 3, although you're experienced enough to know that he's probably holding back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Roth, please enter. And he opens the door and motions you to the living room.
All right. Again, casual as you like. He has his hands back into his jean pockets as he goes ahead and strolls on in. Goes ahead and like rolls his eyes for a hot second, not in like annoyance, but just go ahead and take in your atrium. Go ahead and give a
Yeah,
little bit of whistle. Ooh, I won't
what?
do that again. I
Yeah,
apologize.
nah, it's okay. What Bryce sees is that the entry area has a lot of Art Nouveau decoration, a lot of floral animal scenes and similar. Quite nice. Seems to have been relatively freshly done. And then he will guide you to the living room, which in comparison to what you saw before is more modern, but mostly set out for comfort, a lot of rugs. There's probably even the odd bear and tiger pelt hanging up, but most of the fittings are modern. There is a kitchen to the side that also seems to be modern, and a big ass TV, probably the biggest one that money can buy at this point in history. And yes, you will also see another kindred there.
Yeah, Seven is going to put his chalice down on the little side table next to the couch as the two enter the living room, and he'll stand up and give this new guy a once over, kind of size him up. Seven tonight is dressed in full biker regalia, which would immediately connect him with the Harley Davidson parked outside in that driveway. He's wearing leather pants, but they're not off the rack. These actually look like they were handmade, kind of pieced together with various bits of leather and then dyed black, stitched together with what looks like sinew. His trench coat as well. Not that it's needed this time of year in Florida, but he is wearing one nonetheless. It is also pieced together with various odd shapes of leather, but it fits him quite nicely. Uh, he looks at Bryce, kind of looks him up and down, and then says, "Ah, welcome, brother."
Bryce is going to go ahead and like give you the same old good old look up and down. He's much more of a lean framed individual. Definitely does. He probably comes up to at your shoulders at generously. He comes up to your shoulders, but you're at least a head taller than him. He goes ahead and extends his hands out and simply says, "Hey, howdy, how you doing?" Yeah, brother, all of that kind of stuff, I guess.
Seven will look down at him. Just as a point of reference, Seven is 5'11".
Legit.
He'll look down and nod and take his hand and give it a good hearty shake and say, "I am Seven, child of Tegan, child of Tyrus. I have killed Sabat and Lupin alike." And then he kind of stands back and waits for you to tell your story, tell of your prowess.
Bryce goes ahead and nods. He goes ahead and gives a generous, "Oh, really? That's oh yeah, my Bryce Ross, childer of bunny ears, whose line goes back to the All Father by at least 3 degrees. I am only half a century out, if that makes any sense.
Seven kind of arches a brow at Bryce's choice of wording and adjectives, and he kind of looks over to Sirius and says, looks like this kid is one of your line."
Odin the All-High, you say? Fascinating.
Goes ahead and shrugs. Well, if you believe what my sire went ahead and taught me, I don't rightly know. I was considered the runt of the litter. If you want to go ahead and like stretch it out a little bit, he goes ahead and shakes his head. From what I have been told, my blood is not as thick as others.
Seven is going to rear his head back and just break out in a really hearty, deep belly laugh.
The laugh goes over Bryce's head.
Oh, don't worry, kid. You're in good company. And you're in a good clan. You say you're younger than half a century? Where have you been?
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Goddamn. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've been everywhere, man.
Jesus Christ. And he just looks over to Sirius like, what the fuck?
Interesting. Well,
I mean,
since we
he's
are
going to go
doing
ahead and
proper...
cock his thumb to the RV that's probably still in, well, not in view from the atrium, but from the view of a window. And from out there, there are just like bumper stickers of all the various states he's gone ahead and visited, from Louisiana, Arizona, California, all the way up to goddamn fucking Maine.
You definitely seem to have got around, that is for sure. But since we're doing introductions properly, let me cite my lineage. Sir Sirius Hunt, sired by Asker Sigurdsson, sired by Sigurd Haraldsson, sired by Odin the All-High, sired by Enoia, sired by Enoch, sired by Cain.
And Seven just stands there and smiles as he once again hears his newly appointed mentor's lineage. Seven is quite learned in the Gangrel lore, and each and every one of those names not only does he recognize them, but he knows in some detail some of their great deeds for the clan and for kindred at large. So he just stands back and smiles, hearing all of those names.
Bryce, for his part, goes ahead and squints a little bit. Okay, you know what I said, like 3 degrees? It might have been 3 by 3 degrees. I don't really know.
I would be counted as 7th generation anciller of Clan Gangrel, slayer of Sabat, once time hound to Mithras, knighted by him in undeath, knighted during my breathing days. That's why I carry the title, not as an affection, but because I earned it. But know this, young one, I hold no ill will towards runts, because sometimes even they have something to offer.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge fan of you being the runt, because now I'm not. So that's cool.
His head goes on a swivel between the two. Okay, I'm useful just by existing. Cool.
Oh, don't worry, relax. You're fine here. We're not Venture after all. We don't, even if you were a thin blood, I don't mind. And he
for
gives
sure.
he gives you a hearty slap on the back, and accidentally unleashes his 6 dots in strength, and it definitely sends you skidding for a bit. At which point goes, oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Please let me help you up. Sorry about that.
Seven was walking towards the kitchen because I can only assume by now he knows where the blood is. He was going to go to the kitchen to pour a chalice of blood for the new the newcomer, but he stops halfway and looks back to see what just happened, and then he says to Sirius, brother, for real? Like, remember that time you asked me to tell you when you're doing that thing?
Yes.
You're doing it right now.
Sorry. And he seems genuinely sorry for knocking Bryce over, basically.
Like, you really got to rein that in, dude.
Let's go ahead and like roll a thing. Haha, second, all right? I'm gonna roll athletics and dexterity with a specialty in lightning reflexes.
Oh, snap.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. So you go ahead and push him with your full fucking strength. You send him flying, but at the very, very last second, which he would totally go ahead and lose his footing, his hit actually goes ahead and hits the side of a couch, and he just goes ahead and rolls over the couch and plants his feet on the other side.
I'm terribly sorry, Bryce. That wasn't my intention. I sometimes forget my strength. But I must say, good save.
Yeah, Seven is going to kind of chuckle a bit and say, damn, kid's got moves. And then he'll go on into the kitchen to pour Bryce a chalice of blood.
He's got landed. He's got his arms out. He's looking back to you. Okay, cool. That wasn't intentional. Gotcha. Awesome. This could really get awkward if that was.
And how good is your guy at inciting people?
Not very good at all. He's got a perception score, but no empathy score.
Okay. The little perception that your guy has, it seems to be genuine. There seems to be a genuine expression of regret. It seems that he didn't want to do that on purpose.
At that point, Seven comes back into the living room with the chalice of fresh blood, and he's going to put. He's holding the chalice in his right hand, and he will put his left hand on Sirius's shoulder and kind of tap it, and just say, "It's all right, man." And then he'll look at Bryce and say, "See, the thing is, our friend here has, up until recently, been asleep for quite a while, and he's just now kind of getting his feet back under him. so you'll have to excuse him. And then he hands them the chalice of blood, and then picks up his own chalice and holds it up, and waits for Sirius to grab his.
Sirius will grab it, lift it up. To new family members, and he smiles.
Bryce will go ahead and like hold his chalice that has been given. Go ahead and mimic the motions of the other two, and then just go ahead and like repeat the platitudes from the older gangrel, going, yeah, new family, new brothers, new city, new adventures, new woes.
And Seven will just say, Clan Gangrel, and then he'll tap all the other chalices in a good cheers, and then he'll drink.
Yeah, Sirius will follow him in on that for Clan Gangrel and just down it.
Bruce will go ahead and like Bryce will go ahead and like mimic the others, take a sip, then build up until finally it's ended with the cup upside down. But it takes him a hot second. He does not gulp like the others.
Is he at the very least tasting a little bit of the blood?
Sipping as he do, he probably tasted at the beginning.
Okay, the beginning at the taste you have is, this is mighty good deer's blood. There doesn't seem to be anything else mixed in it.
Gotcha. Once the chalice is empty, he's just going to go ahead and place it on a counter or on a coffee table, or hell, even on the side of the chair of a couch if that's the only thing available. Go ahead and put his hands back into his jean pockets and go ahead and say, "Cool. I feel so accepted and welcomed." Is this a prelude to all of the terrible news I'm about to hear?
Sirius is a bit taken aback by that, and just gives him a bit of a confused look. Terrible news? No, the city has recently been taken back from the Sabbat. A red list has been dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the only bad news so far, is that apparently Jack the Ripper has shown up again and is terrorizing kin and kine. That's bad news for sure. We are trying to deal with it. And just to warn you, if I remember correctly, in the western outskirts of Orlando, there still might be the odd Sabbat trying to hang on. But rumors have it that we are planning to deal with them soon.
Yeah. Seven nods as he plops down unceremoniously in the plush leather couch, almost, but not quite, almost spilling the last little bit of his blood that he's got in that chalice. He'll kick his feet up and get really comfortable and look over to Sirius and says, "Well, at any time, just stop me if I'm wrong, or update things." And then he looks over to Bryce and says, "So, short story is, this used to be a Sabbat city, and somewhat recently, like just before I got here a few weeks ago, the Camarilla took it back. As you can imagine, the Sabbat are pretty pissed about it. So everything is kind of new. Fun fact, the city is run by a court of Tremere, which is, horrible. The prince is, he's a prince in like title and status and statue, but apparently he doesn't run the show. It's some other chick behind him. But
Oh, okay. So maybe one or two odd disturbances. Don't walk down any dark alleys that you don't know. We are currently pushing out some hostile forces in sectarian manners, and internally it's all ivory tower or Camarilla politics with a coterie of blood magicians at the head of it. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Well
pretty much.
summarized. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he
pretty
looks over to
much.
Sirius to get like an approval. Like, yeah, I think that pretty much covers it.
Yes, yes. I think we've got the important bits out. Yeah. Talking about something. There is this one charming bar called the White Wolf. It is run by a guru who, for reasons a little bit beyond my ken, seems to be okay with most of our kind, as long as we are still able to present ourselves with the how should I put it, with the right humane airs and graces.
Yeah,
So
seven.
breathing.
Yeah, seven is going to nod at what Sirius is saying and look over to Bryce and say, "Yeah, it's a nice place." And he kind of grabs the front of his shirt. Um, you can kind of see that he's got a leather necklace, a leather thong around his neck, and it's tucked into his shirt. And he's grabbing whatever whatever's hanging on to that under his shirt, and he'll say, "Just know that there's more than just vampires and werewolves that go into that place. There's some other shit here in town that I can't even begin to fathom."
Okay, so not the local rack, but still a place of interest.
Yes, and they've got some pretty good beverages, although I haven't quite yet mustered the courage to ask if they offer, blood.
And you know I'm just the asshole to do it.
And how did Alexei take that question?
I mean, I haven't done it yet. I'm saying, like, I will do it, like, next time. Like, the one time I've been in there was not the time for my assholishness to show. Trust me. What's her name? The Nosferatu hacker chick?
Amelia?
That's her, the one that I couldn't get a word in edgewise with. She gracefully, which is the only reason I even remotely like her, she gracefully like removed me from this situation that was brewing and pulled me off to the side. Had she not, I probably wouldn't be here right now, or if I were, I wouldn't look as well, as
In one
alive.
piece.
Yeah, right.
Okay. The new gangrel is just going to go ahead and walk and pace from one side of the room to another. His eyes kind of wide, taking things in. His nostrils go ahead and flare, not for breathing purposes, but simply to gather a bit of a scent of the place. He goes ahead and looks out the window and simply goes ahead and says, "So does the clan hold any domain itself?"
Scent-wise, Bryce would be picking up 3 different human males and also the scent of 2 gangrel. One clearly being Sirius's scent, which is the most overpowering one, and sort of often enough there also seems to be the scent of 7.
Not
As
to
far as
mention,
when you are and yeah, sorry,
no, I was
you
just
go.
gonna say, not to mention the scent of leather, wood, and books, like that
Books.
musty,
Yeah.
paper cardboard smell.
The legit.
And if you look outside, you actually see a lit pool. Just a sec. And yes, you see a lit pool, quite nice sized. 14 people could probably quite easily get in there. And there's even a fake waterfall at the end of it where people can probably even get under.
Oh dear.
So if you have a look around the whole house, it's shouting at the very least 4 dots in resources. At the very least.
Does the clan hold any domain?
Not for the clan per se. Granted, I'm pretty sure we're the only ones, hunting the woods around here. Uh, it's much more of a personal thing. Obviously, here on this estate and the surrounding area, this is definitely Sirius's turf. I myself don't have quote unquote turf per se. Sirius has been kind enough to let me hunt on occasion here at his estate. Otherwise, I stay to the rack, which is in the downtown area near the Ritz Hotel.
Bryce will go ahead and nod. I'm just trying to feel out where I can go ahead and park my AV and maybe dig myself a little bit of a ditch and not be such a problem.
Who said you're a problem?
He goes ahead and points to good old Seven and goes ahead and says, sometimes you don't look like a problem until you feed in places you're not to.
Well, just to clarify, so the immediate premises and, of course, the immediate land around, that I bought. So that is officially under my name. As for the domain that I was granted by the prince, and he gives you a description of roughly where it begins, where it ends, a lot of woodland, a little bit of a settlement. You get the feeling that it's a 3-dot domain, so pretty decently sized. And he also goes, so he actually even brings out a map and gives you a rough estimate about here, at which that ends. As far as I know, highways, lake runners, which is our primogen, hers is, and he points out hers. And sadly, Seven hasn't yet been granted domain yet, but we are working on that.
Well, I mean, I've only met the prince once, and that. Okay, so in all fairness, I may or may not have kind of shown my ass in front of the prince. Not to the prince, but, in the setting. Okay, look,
This sounds like a story that you really want to tell.
I'd honestly rather not. It was just suffice it to say, first impressions and all that. I definitely need to set up another meeting with His Majesty. And he kind of pauses with an eye roll a little bit. To properly introduce myself and formally request, some little carve of domain that I can call my own. Granted, I'm also kind of thinking about running for Scourge, but that's neither here nor there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, apparently this city is so new they don't have one. They've got a sheriff, a toreador of all things, if I recall. But yeah, no Scourge. I was in town for like 3 nights without so much as a how do you do. Kind of weird.
Well, maybe there is a Scourge. We just don't know who it is.
No, the prince himself has told me that there isn't one.
And you believed his words. Well, I guess it wouldn't be in the prince's best interest to lie to you.
Well, if the prince would like to rule with not only love but also a little bit of fear, as Machiavelli liked to put it, it would have been definitely in his interest to let this my good friend here know that he has a scourge that could come upon him like a ton of bricks. And thus put the fear of whatever deity you wish to choose in him. But yes, as far as I'm concerned, since you're new in town, I'd be willing to have you also share in my domain, in my feeding grounds, for a few nights, until you've been able to get yourself established, if need be.
You've been a quite generous host. Your hospitality does you wonders.
Thank you. I hope I was able to get you at least halfway comfortable. And Sirius himself puts his legs up on the mahogany coffee table that is in between all of them, just getting comfortable. If you want, I have another guest room ready. Uh, we could make it some proof within the hour if you want somewhere to lay your head. You would also be under my protection while you
Oof.
rested, and the protection of my rather capable ghouls.
Yeah, Seven is going to
Ex-military.
nod as he looks at Bryce and says, "Look, kid, I am one that really loves to sleep in the ground. I'm very minimalistic, but I can attest, Sir Sirius has some very lush and comfortable accommodations. I strongly suggest you take him up on his offer because I can guarantee you anything he has is better than that shit box in the driveway."
Hey, that shit moss has gotten me like fucking everywhere, man.
Now, Seven. Now, Seven. I mean, I'm honored, truly are. But if our good fellow prefers um his own little four walls, I wouldn't want to bereave him of that comfort. And he
Well, I
graciously
mean,
smiles at
no one's
Bryce.
forcing him. No one's forcing him. I'm just saying.
Uh, I just wanted to say that it is completely up to you, Bryce. If you're okay with me calling you Bryce, I can also call you Mr. Roth.
You can call me whatever you want. Your blood's thicker than mine. I
Yes, it
cannot
is.
go ahead but look upon you, my good sir, and notice that you are closer to the Dark Father as well as stronger in the beast, and I must go ahead and acquiesce to yourself. The power, the blood demands it. So I will go ahead and take you up on that offer, not only because you are the superior predator in these premises, but because it would just be fucking smart. I mean, I'm new to the city. I don't even know like what the street signs go ahead and say. It would do me no favors to try to go ahead and bum a sleeping place. Much less try a fucking motel.
Seven is
Yes.
gonna clap his hands. Yes, yes, this kid is smart.
Good.
Mama didn't raise
Good.
no fool. Mama didn't raise me, but Mama didn't raise no fool neither.
That's true. You truly remind me of a coyote, and I'm talking about the wily and the one that deserves a bit of respect. I can respect that. I can respect that. Now there is somebody who has got his head properly screwed on his shoulders. In that case, please let me show you where you can rest your head for the day. And don't worry, my ghouls are former military personnel, and we have the equipment. Should anybody try any funny business, they will put them in the sand faster than you can say, "Oh, and there you go."
Well, I'll go ahead and bunk here for the next few nights, but then I will go ahead and make myself scarce. I do like the open sky.
There is something to be said. There is something to be said. Alas, I've got other things I have to take care of. You two have fun, but I've got some business to take care of. And unless there are any other announcements, I think this would be an excellent point for us to close the scene so that our
Hmm.
poor storyteller can go rest her head.
Our lovely, wonderful, beautiful, adorable storyteller.
The best
Thank you,
storyteller
players,
in
for
all
playing.
the land.
Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene for Unmask Orlando. We will see you next time.